Hi, this is a foreigner in the Philippines. Well, beautiful day here. We had an early start, got the kids off to school. Talik and Balalut walking down the road as if he's about to meet his executioner. And Talik not quite so bad, okay, but school it is. So, I wanted really to talk to you about our meeting yesterday with Mike and Jean, the directors of the Village of Hope, which is the orphanage which we've made some video of and wanted to help with. Well, we can give our modest level of help by giving some promotional videos, doing some more videos on the village and what the work is there. Well, they're doing tremendous work. Of course, they dwarf our humble efforts to help. We've just made about 6 or 7 houses. But in fact, I think they've done 50. They have a store that is out close to Taliban where they sell all kinds of stuff. And the proceeds for that goes to the village. Well, presently the village has something like 46 children. And they have a couple of children at the halfway house, which is where I went to have lunch. Beth was supposed to go with me, but we went over to Ubay first, and we did a work in progress video of Pastor Gilbert's house, which is coming along great. But during that time, Beth began to feel not so good. She hadn't done so well going out there in the car and felt like throwing up. So I left her there, and I went back and got her after the meeting. Well, I spent a couple of hours, or 3, maybe even 3 hours, chatting. It's not hard to do when someone already knows about Monty Python and the Ministry of Silly Walks. It can be a funny conversation. Not to mention, is this the right room for an argument? Which, if you're an enthusiast, a follower of Monty Python, you'll know what all of these phrases mean. Okay, so back to the meeting. What were we hoping to do? We were hoping to formalize an agreement where we would partner with the Village of Hope so that we would actually be acting under the umbrella of their license. That would then alleviate from us the worry and the process, which is quite complicated, of setting up a foundation. Well, it turns out that our hopes of setting up a foundation are those plans are pretty grand, simply because we need 1 million pesos. Now, in case our detractors are out there saying, oh, now he's asking 1 million pesos, well, we're not doing that. What we're simply saying is giving that information. So the 1 million pesos is way in the future, and so is the foundation. But that doesn't mean that we can't continue doing what we do legally, which is what we're hoping to do. It gets into very muddy grey water. It's not black and white. Anyone out there can send me or Beth a gift. They can do that, and we can do whatever we want with that gift. As soon as you mention the word donation, then you start to get into legalese, is what I call it. So, what's the basis of the agreement that we were able to reach with Mike and Jean? That we can do our charitable works, and we can help with the village. Now, Beth and I are not interested in making any kind of a name. What we're interested in doing is just helping. So we don't really care so much about what we do to help. The only question at the end of the day is, have we helped? And we can help with the kids at the village. Now, you've seen probably some other videos that we've made. We've made 2 videos. We did an introductory video of the Village of Hope, which is an idyllic setting way up in the mountains. And I heard all about the story of how that started from Mike and Jean, kind of how synchronicity works in our lives. Just to digress a little and tell you the story there very quickly. Mike and Jean had many years ago had met and married, and they both were firm believers in God and felt that their mission would be revealed to them as it was, and they decided that they would like to start an orphanage. But of course, starting an orphanage, where do you go? Now that's quite a challenge. Well, the way that it happened was that they said that it was synchronicity, that the moment that they became firmly committed on the idea of starting an orphanage, they were given a great sum of money. And that great sum of money meant that they could buy this piece of land out in the mountains. And that's what they did. And since then, they've raised the money to be able to build 4 houses. Now, sometime in the future, of course, they're going to be building more. And it's an idyllic setting, beautiful hills, mountains. So, how can we help? Well, we've been doing very well on taking the stories that we actually find in our everyday life and writing that story and speaking that story and telling that story, living that story, and people have been wanting to help. And that's what we can do. We can continue to do that, and we can help by bringing all of the various stories. There are 46 children in this orphanage. Now, 46, but the mission plan is for a whole organization out there for 200 children. Now, some of these children are beaten, abused, abandoned, and they are given a hope. Hence the Village of Hope, which I thought was the most perfect title for it. And when you go out there, you really do see that it's a Village of Hope. So our mission will be to help more on that. So we'll be making more videos. And as I was about to say, I got meandering off again as I do, there's 46 kids out there. Now imagine the stories of 46 children. Boy, I'm a story lover. I love to hear the stories of people. People tell me their stories. I am all ears. Believe me, I don't always talk constantly. Sometimes I listen. So, our idea is that we will be able to operate under the license of the orphanage. They are fully licensed. They're a non-profit organization, a charity, and we will be able to do what we do under the umbrella of their license. So that has taken away from us the need to get into legalese. Now, before we can do this, and before we can say it's a done deal, there are other meetings that we're going to have with Mike and Jean, Beth and I. And we're going to have to write something out so that there's an agreement that we are going to partner, and we're going to do it in a certain way, to certain parameters, and keep to certain agreements. The village has its own way of accounting, and we are going to have to be able to accommodate that way of accounting. Shouldn't be hard, because we're already keeping accounts, and we will just keep accounts according to how the village would like to see it done. The village obviously they're not just run by Mike and Jean. They have other partners who they have to talk to, and so the actual the fine print is going to be worked out, and then we will, as always, we will be completely transparent about what has been agreed, and probably even do what we've done in the past about receipts and stuff like that. We'll video what that agreement has been, because it will be written. So we'll video that, and that will put to rest a lot of the criticism that we have. Now, what else can I tell you? Well, we came back and we have since heard from Lovely May. Lovely May is going, I think, is it today, Beth?
Sorry, I'm not listening.
Is Lovely May going today?
Yeah, she's been there in Tagbilaran now.
Is she there now?
Yeah.
All right, so Lovely May, with her particular challenge of the cyst, is going, and we gave her 9,000 pesos yesterday so that she can meet the expense, whatever it will be, of the tests, which could be an MRI. I don't know what she needs, but that should pretty well take care of most of that. So the next thing on the agenda will be Grandpa and his cataract surgery. But we did have another great email message that came through today, but that's for another video. So right now, thanks for looking in. Good morning to you, good evening, depending on where you are on the time clock. This is a foreigner in the Philippines.